Talaga bang naisip mo nung magro-roofamate ka?
Bubog mo sa akin to eh.
You wish it didn't happen.
I was in no right to use it that way. It may not have been my intention, but I unknowingly weaponized it. HIV advocate ka pero hindi mo maamin.
Oh no.
And I felt a lot of guilt and shame for feeling that way.
Thank you for being so honest.
That's the one thing na I can say that I really do regret.
Hello everyone, welcome to Evangelism, the podcast. And today is a very special episode because I'm here. Maaga ang Mother's Day. Ladies, dahil ang aking anak, ladies and gentlemen, it's Mix Chanel.
Happy Mother's Day! Happy Father's Day na rin.
Hi, na, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm feeling great right now today. God. As a studio audience ako kanina, so ang dami ko na napakinggan na very insightful things today.
And wow! Ito ka rin pala nung bisita namin. Si RuPaul kasi yung guest ko kanina.
Oo nga, grabe. Ang puti niya in virtual. Hindi, yun. Para akong nilubricate na before pa nung karatan.
Right. Oh my God. Feeling ko ang haba nitong usapan na to because you got two hosts in one podcast. A podcaster and a podcaster.
So ano tayo?
Parang walang
kailangan guest ako today.
So tell us, what's your headspace coming in? Para siyang improv check-in no?
Oo. I've been quite in my feelings lately, but not naman in a negative way. Now it's more like introspecting.
Right.
With what happened in the past calendar year na daming mga bagay. So I've just been thinking and feeling my feelings, thinking thoughts.
Yeah, as we all do, like, we're overthinkers.
Ay, day.
Minsan nga, pag-overthinker ka, may sarili ka pang thought dun sa thought mo.
Yes, ano yan? Nanganganak yung thoughts mo.
Tama. Let's take the audience back. It's like, what was our relationship before Drag Race?
Nadampot po ako ni Eva sa baso. And I started doing drag during the pandemic in 2020. And during my first couple months, ginagawa ko lang siya just for my own pleasure sa kwarto ko at home. Nagkaroon ng this little thing called Drag Playhouse. Yeah. Tapos nagkaroon ng House 628 Zoom party. Pumasok ako doon and then I was able to interact with nectarines that I was already following at that time. I already knew a bit of the career of. And then nadampot nila ako until nagkaroon ng competition, Spotlight by Love Yourself in Spaces Manila. Correct. And then ko naging official mentor si Eva.
Yes. Now that you mentioned it, House 628 was so Playhouse started out as an Instagram page lang, having to para lang may magawa kami during the pandemic.
Mga TikTok challenge.
Yeah, hashtag keep drag alive.
Yes.
And then we started doing drag online. So nagzo-Zoom kami and then we tried to emulate the drag party experience virtually. So, yung mga bakla, nagsaset up sila ng mga lights nila sa kanilang mga bahay, naka-on ng camera, nagda-drag.
Sumashot,
naglalasay, nagwawalwal. We try to replicate talaga virtually the club experience. May mga nagtitips through GCash, PayPal, dito sa Pilipinas, mga bakla sa ibang bansa na mas nakakaangat-angat.
Correct. Shout out Team Europa.
Team Europa. Oh my God, Mama J, everyone, Team Europa. I miss you all. Also kay Samael, of course. Samael na bumuhay sa amin lahat talaga, marami. I mean, that was the time. And then, I distinctly remember that there was this little box here with a very pretty face in that baby blue hair with that blue bandana. And I was like, ang ganda naman ng mukha nitong batang to. Which so happened to be na parang taga Marikina lang daw siya. So, nandun lang siya sa kabilang street.
Parang mga 3 kanto lang yata.
3 kanto lang. Ganda ganda ng mukha Talagang pansinin So there will be around 200 people in that Zoom. And then merong isang, usually si Matilda, binabayaran ko siya na mag-change
At one point naging trabaho ko din yan.
Magpalit-palit ka ng spotlight. Kasi parang the 200, papalit-palit siya ng spotlight para lahat may chance to be seen dun sa, oh my God, the lengths that we do to entertain ourselves and, keep ourselves sane during the lockdown.
Ay, nako. Sa mga nakakaalam po kung ano yung clams, atin-atin na lang yun.
Oh my God. The clams. The clams is the after party.
Yes.
And then it's called, Marina and I, we called it House 628 because because it's June 28th,
Yes.
which is the date of the Stonewall.
Stonewall uprisings.
Yeah, we want to like pay homage to the origins of
The Pride movement.
The Pride movement. So we wanted to keep it. Dapat magkaroon na tayo ng live House 628 ball.
Ulit, no?
Oo. Like,
We haven't had one since Renaissance, yung nag-Renaissance ball.
The last House 628 ball was, of course, shout out to Sony Music.
Yes.
For letting us do the promotion for the Renaissance nung nag-release si Beyonce. Kasama namin siya sa group chat nun eh. Sabi ko, Bay!
Kaya nyo na yan, sis. Busy ako nun eh, sabi niya.
Mag-ano ako, mag-na-number ako. Okay lang, Bay. Ganyan. Sabi lang niya, basta kabisaduhin mo yung words. Pero yun ang Drag Race before Drag Race.
Yes. Yun yung ano. Ngayon sinasabi pa rin natin, pag ang liit na industriya, mas maliit dati.
Oo.
As in, tayo lang yung nakikita sa screen sa Facebook.
Correct. And alam mo, I really take pride in that House 628 parties kasi a lot of the queens that I know, like yourself, that place has given birth to a lot of the queens that we know now.
And ano yun, it connected drag from a lot of different places in the Philippines at that time.
Oo, naalala ko sila si Trina from...
Doon ko nakilala si Trina. Doon ko nakilala una si Yudi before Drag
yes.
Race.
Emperadora Baguio na parang
yes.
Connected. And then meron din sila Mama Jane, mga nagbibihis pa sila, mga nasa Europe. It was so simple but also very special to me. Kasi even before we started dreaming big, we knew that there's one thing that we need to do, and that is to be united and to take
keep drag alive.
Hashtag keep drag alive. Now, we keep drag thriving.
Yes.
Take us back to Becca and Amanda podcast.
Yes.
So how did it come to life?
Creative outlet namin siya ni Baus.
How did you know Baus?
So me and Baus met through our improv school, Third World Improv, that was established by Spit Manila.
Yeah.
Viral na sila ngayon sa TikTok. Nagkakaagawan na ngayon sa tickets. Dati kaming mga estudyante lang pupunta sa shows.
So that's how sila mabook.
Correct. So that's how I met Baus before.
Right.
Nagkaroon kami ng community pride shows. And that's when we first met. Throughout the pandemic, when I started my drag journey, he was one of those people na parang took interest. Was really curious na, kumbaga parang, paano mo to ginagawa? Parang may curiosity siya about me and my journey with drag. And also kasi as parehas kaming fans of Drag Race, we talk about the show. One time, pinitch na lang sa akin na, sis, do you want to start a podcast na parang Race Chaser? Like, hindi naman namin tinatanggi na we tried to be the Filipino version of Race Chaser. At first, it was really just like a passion project. We didn't expect to get anything out of it. We just wanted to do it. Ika nga ay for the love. Oo. Nung nag-start na mag-open up unti-unti yung nightlife scene, or at least the nightlife scene, the drag industry ulit.
Correct.
Naisipan namin gumawa ng viewing party to kind of just like whatever little fan base we had that time, pagsama-samahin, manood tayo lahat ng paborito nating TV show, and then also give platforms to local queens.
Correct.
Kasi at that point, hindi pa masyadong commonplace yung makita ka ng drag queen outside of bars, outside of nightclubs. So we wanted to bring it para at least a bit more accessible to people, and also use Drag Race US at that time, Drag Race US as a means to, ito mga local drag queens, abangan nyo sila. Ito yung talent natin. Panoorin natin yung TV show, pero ito yung talent natin dito sa Pilipinas.
Correct.
It started as a passion for that. Kasi I felt a lot of gratitude for the local industry. Sino ba naman ako at that time na nag-start ako? I came from, at that time, e-commerce pa ako noon, hindi pa ako ahensya. So I came from an e-commerce job. I didn't really know anyone in the nightlife industry. Tapos nagdadraga lang ako sa kwarto ko, and then all of a sudden, Nectarine started to embrace my presence, embrace my artistry, and then nakapasok ako na spotlight, and then nanalo ako. It's parang, I felt like I owed it to the industry to do something. Kasi alam kong it was part of my skill set. Sanay ako sa production, sanay ako sa producing events, sanay ako sa marketing. So I just felt like this is part of my skill set. This is part of my passion. I want to, in a way, show gratitude to the industry that has embraced me by, pabukas pa lang tayo lahat nun eh. Pabukas pa lang ulit ang Nectar at O-Bar nun. Wala pang masyadong space. The viewing parties were my love letter to the local drag scene.
Yeah.
Dahil winelcome nyo ako, binigyan nyo ako space, susubukan ko ibalik yun.
Yeah, I remember the first one was White Banana.
Yes, the small rooftop bar sa Poblacion.
I hosted episode 1.
Kasi
ano yun?
na ER yung mom ko.
Oo, si
Oo.
tita, the last minute.
Mm-mm.
Na parang dapat perform lang ako. And that was also the first time actually, that wasn't the first time I met Baus. Strangely, no, minit kami ni Baus, me and Vinyas before that. Grabe yung drive niya and yung fire. And then we started doing that hanggang sa lumaki ng lumaki. You guys were the first people who, alala ko ba yun? Tama ba? All Winners, yung pinapanood na.
We started with middle of season 14.
Middle na season 14.
Tapos nag-All Winners. Yes, sila Bosco, Willow Pill, that season.
Willow Pill, yeah, that season. And then All Winners. Medyo alam na rin naman nila about na parang, at least with us, nila Marina, we know na parang this is the perfect place to introduce ourselves kasi we know what's going to happen.
Kakatapos nyo lang yata mag-film noon.
Oo. Tapos na kami mag-film noon. So we already know what's about to happen. So parang, at that time, syempre nga, hindi mo nga alam kung paano i-receive ng tao. So with whatever, your viewing parties is the perfect place for you to like congregate drag fans who already know Drag Race. And to slowly introduce na parang, yes, these are the girls to look forward to. Everything, oh my God, that was crazy. And saan tayo lumipat? Draper na tayo officially.
May social natin, no? May hotel room yung mga backstage natin. Pwede tayo matulog.
Oo, na parang ang dressing room, mga naka-hostel na mga bakla. Ganyan. And then we started growing and just like, really, it's
and now there's
ecosystem.
A whole industry.
Pero yeah, and now it's like people now are looking forward to the next one because we know there's gonna be another one. So hanggat may Drag Race, meron kaming trabaho. Call for season 3 came in. And then you auditioned. How was your audition like?
From that moment, I felt super heartbroken from season 2. I took that year, parang after that, I really tried to both my strength and my weakness. I'm the kind of person kasi that I attach my worth to my work. And after that disappointment, binabad ko talaga yung sarili ko. As in, show ng show, gig ng gig. I kept putting myself out there to the point na parang nung Pride, halos din ako nagpapahinga. Ang dami ko ring shows doon. It made me feel so good. Made me feel so happy. By the time na season 3 came along, parang dun ko naramdaman na career ko na to. Whether or not makapag-drag race ako, whatever happens in my season, this is my career. This is what I want to pour myself into.
Correct.
Yun yung naging realization ko in between those times. And nung season 3, syempre, part of me umaasa pa din. But at the same time, parang kung hindi pa ito, hindi pa to. I came into the 3rd season with that mindset. But I also put in a lot of work na tipong months before i-announce yung audition, I was already filming a lot of B-rolls for the audition tape. So sabi ko, pagka-try ko ulito, bibigay ko pa rin 100% ko. But this time around, pag hindi ko makapasok, okay lang. I came into it with that mindset.
And then, season 3 happened.
Pinalad naman.
Tama, kasi ano talaga siya? Pag oras mo.
Yeah.
It's a calling In a grander scheme of things and in retrospect, you'll realize that the queens that took part in their respective seasons are there for the reason. Talaga.
And sobrang happy ako na kapasok ko season 3. Especially with yung mga nakasama ko doon. I look back on my experience, at least like the most positive aspect of my experience is iba yung group dynamics.
Totoo.
Nung cast namin. And it made it parang yun yung nagpapaganda ng experience. Lahat ng memories namin sa tent, lahat ng memories namin on-cam and off-cam, yung kulitan namin sa hallways ng hotel. Correct. That's something that I really look fondly on about that time.
Totoo. Kasi alam nyo, like, of course, diba, I produce Drag in the South. Yung season 3, ayaw nilang maghiwa-hiwalay. Hindi ko maintindihan talaga. I don't know. Kasi ako, like, I love because me, I wear multiple hats in a show. I'm a producer, director. So talagang, I am always with the team. Bigyan nyo na ako ng sarili kong room kasi nga, ang daming ginagawa, ang daming taong labas-masok doon. So parang, I have learned to like, get ready in drag in the comfort of my own room. Now, si Maxi, nung nanalo siya, of course, winner ka eh. We want to give you the VIP treatment. Ayaw! Gusto niya kung nasan kayo, dun din siya. Nga parang, talaga ba? Hindi ba kayo nasisikapan yung iba dyan? Hindi, dito kami, ganyan. Sobrang solid nung season 3.
Ang masaya pa niyan, pag sa Drag in the South, 4 pa kaming naka-live sa Instagram, palipat-lipat pa kami ng mga upuan. We really formed like a camaraderie within our season.
Totoo.
And that's an experience I wouldn't trade for anything.
Yeah, that kind of system. Ba't nga wala kaming ganyan sa season 1? Kasi hindi, we were just like, nung season kasi namin, parang talagang nagkaroon ng medyo segregation. I think it was the time that the Divine Divas really started building their own intervention. Naturally, of course, it's the natural scheme of things. Then there is Buchanan, and then I started Playhouse, and then everyone got, parang nagkaroon ng turf. These are sa Empty Stomach, Team Big, Draper, ganyan. So, and it was, we were the first. Pero kayo kasi parang wala kayong ganun dynamics. Parang everyone is like, can be booked. Take us back. What did you feel nung pumasok ka dun sa workroom?
Nung pagkapasok ko sa pagkagulong ko, I was on roller skates. Pagkagulong ko pa lang, pinipigilan ko yung sarili kong tumingin. Because that was the first thing I wanted to do, was to take it all in, being on this end of a TV show na ang tagal ko na sinusubaybayan.
Correct.
Parang gusto ko lang talagang tumingin na parang, oh my God. Pero syempre, papasok ka, kailangan, like, you make a good first impression, pa-star ka, ganyan. It felt very surreal. Parang I could never wrap my head around completely na, alam ko, I was there, alam ko, like, aware naman ako sa sarili ko, pero yung nasa Drag Race ako, mapapanood to ng mga tao. May camera nakatutok sa akin the whole time. Ito pala yung itsura ng workroom from this side. Which is very surreal but also very fulfilling experience.
I know, kasi parang there's that disconnect in the what's registering in front of you. And then na parang, totoo ba to? Ito yung Drag Race? Rue girl na ako?
So, syempre, una mong gagawin, makikipag-chikahan ka, may chismisan ka. At that point, parang, oh my God, Rue girl. Ganon ka pa yung pupostura ka pa. Rue girl, activate pa ako. Gising ka pa at that point, pagka-entrance mo. So, parang, pabida ka pa. Pag may sinabi ng producers, pag-usapan nyo to, oh, sister, yung mga ganito. Ano yung ganito nyo? Ganon.
Ang bida. So, nung pumasok ka, sino yung una mong sinize up? Na parang feeling mo, this is competition.
Sizing up wasn't my first agenda.
Yeah.
Parang, more like, sino yung confirmed sa mga rumors na naririnig ko? Yun yung mga inaabangan. Parang, correct. As the girls came in one by one, parang, okay, check, tama yung narinig kong ganito, tama na, ito yung kasabay ko magpagawa sa ganitong designer. Parang china-check off ko yung rumors. And then, syempre, ang huling pumasok sa amin, si Maxi. And then, that was the moment I knew na, di ako mananalo.
So, you had that, talaga?
In the back of my head, I knew it was hers. From day one. Na parang, I was competing for second. Parang ganun yung feeling ko nung pumasok siya na, this is a competition for second. Si Maxi na to.
Tell me about it. I saw Alyssa Edwards walk into the room and everyone was like, well, nice to meet you, girls.
Exactly. Ganon yung pakiramdam ko.
I was like, yep.
So, ano na rin siya, parang like, medyo nakakagaan na rin siya na, tinanggal ko na sa headspace ko, dito ako para manalo. Hindi, tinanggal ko na siya. I took it out of my headspace na I'm here to win. It's more like, I'm here to showcase my craft.
Right.
Like, I want to show what I can do. I want to show what I've prepared for. Lahat ng mga investments ko, lahat ng classes na tinake ko. Gusto ko siya mapakita lahat. Yun lang yung iniisip ko.
Yeah, and this is not to throw shade at Maxi or it's like because Maxi's star power is blinding. Like parang, it's like Beyonce joining American Idol. Whoop, okay. I mean, at least in, if I were to put myself in your shoes, parang, buti hindi sumali ng season 1. Ang ganda ng season 1 kasi parang kami lahat ang hirap magbasag ng competition noon. Ng season 1, talagang it's everyone's game. Parang hindi mo talaga alam, walang tulak-kabigan. Alam mo.
Bubog mo sa akin to
Talaga ba, anak? Talaga bang naisip mo na magro-roofamate ka?
Minsan kasi, mga naiisip tayo mga kaputang inahan.
No. Alam mo, before ka pumasok, I don't know if we've talked about this. Parang before ka pumasok, pumunta ka dito sa condo ko. Tapos, mapahiram ako ng breastplate mo. Tsaka sabi mo, back up.
Yes.
Yeah. Diba? Pero of course, go. Parang, baka mamaya magamit niya sa challenge. Go, support. Ganyan. Pero also, ibang character yung pinrepare mo for Snatch Game, right?
I was studying, the whole time na preparing, I was hyper-focused on one character, Miriam Defensor Santiago.
Right.
The way that I was planning Miriam was very highfalutin. Kasi ang taas ng tingin niya. Yung Miriam na mode niya pag nasa Senado siya, yung nang babangbang siya ng mga kapwa niya, senador, kapwa niya, politiko. That was the character that I was building off of. At that point in the competition, na parang na mind games na ako. Kasi that was episode 4. That was, I had 4 episodes worth of being told na you're overthinking, you're overcalculating, you're too much of a perfectionist, you're too planned out. At that time,
sorry. Okay.
At that time, that got to me. All of those comments got to me. And I looked at yung mga nabdala ko. We had Miriam, that character. And we had a character na GV lang. I thought it was a smart move to go for Rufa May. Kasi Rufa May naman talaga, I grew up watching her movies. Kasi nga, sanay ako dun sa humor niya. Alam ko kung paano siya umalis sa interviews. Kala ko kaya ko. Kala ko okay na. Kala ko parang, sige, ito na lang. Kasi baka maabang-bang na naman nila ako dito sa isa eh. Ito na lang. Choices were made that day. There were choices made that day in the workroom.
Oh my God. Imagine you were told by people who didn't do Snatch Game how to do Snatch Game.
To be fair, hindi siya aired, pero nung kinoconsult ko rin si John Santos, sabi niya, oo nga, ang hirap nga ng choice mo. Ang gandang advice. Sir John, napakagandang advice. Oo nga, ang hirap nga ng choices mo. Parang ako,
with the exception of Sir John, no one else gets to talk to you on how to do Snatch Game. Pero, yung Miriam Defensor, can you still do a Miriam Defensor?
Not off the top of my head right now. Parang nabaon na rin siya sa baul ng Drag Race.
Oo, kasi si Miriam, may accent din. Like parang
Ilongga.
Oo, tsaka
she was my studied character. She was yung may baon akong props, may baon akong linya, may baon akong prop gag. Kaya nung pinili ko si Rufa May, talagang hope for the best!
Yeah. But I think you would, pero there's no point like looking back at it na parang you could have done this, could have done that.
But could have gone either way.
Either way, it's like parang, I think Miriam Defensor is like a good move. Parang siya. Kasi kung isipin ko, halimbawa, Miriam Defensor, di ba patay na nga siya? So may bonding sila may connection siya kay kamatayan. Tsaka kay Bob. Ballet, babae sa ballet.
Naalala ko na pinag-usapan din namin sa workroom. Yung second choice naman ni Tita Baby, 1 point si Enrile. So either way, either way.
To be fair, mahirap basagin yung Snatch Game nyo. Because your Snatch Game is really simply just the best. Like, you've done improv classes. It was an improv master class. Everyone was leaving the door open for the next one to hit a punchline. Talagang may batuhan, may parang walang single person dominated that Snatch Game It's like an ensemble of like, lahat may ambag.
Oh, and I still had a lot of fun. Kaya parang, I don't fully regret the choice.
Right.
Na, I still had a lot of fun and I did get a few lines in. Syempre, for the purposes of the storytelling on the television, di umabot. But, ayan, I got a few good jabs in. I enjoyed. May mga group moments kami na hindi lahat naman napakita. I still had a really good time ng Snatch Game.
And with all things considered, as we always say, that was your best at that moment.
Yes.
Kumbaga, that decision to choose Rufa May came out of an intent to want to do good.
Yeah.
It was not because you were lazy.
Yeah.
It was not because you lack interest or parang ito na kasi yung I feel that you didn't choose Rufa May because you think it's easier.
No.
Or not even what people what the critics were saying na parang yung nanay mo is nauna sa'yo. It's not even about me. It was a deliberate choice knowing that it's what's good for makes us run at that moment.
Taking notes. Yung mga sinasabi sa aking notes ng judges, I was taking them in, trying to apply them. And I thought that was the move. And maybe it was, but it fell short. But yun, parang that was just what I was thinking about, was taking the notes.
Right.
Kasi yun yung training ko sa theater. Na pag may sinabi sa yung note yung director, bawal ka mag-excuse, bawal ka mag-rason, tatanggapin mo, a-apply mo.
Yeah. But the thing is, it's not theater. It's reality
yes.
TV.
That part.
Do it twice and you'll know.
That part.
Setting that aside, one more thing that people would remember your run for was your revelation.
Yes.
It was so brave. It was a highlight. It was done so beautifully and so inspiring. It wasn't a sob story like when you came out with your about your status. Diba? Normally, I really applaud you for that. I didn't know it. Hindi ko rin alam. Okay lang yun, nanay niya hindi niya alam. Sarili mo nanay hindi alam eh. Totoong nanay mo hindi alam eh. So I didn't know about it. But for me, it was very important kasi we live at a time na parang dati, ang representation ng people living with HIV, laging malungkot, laging mamamatay, laging pang maalaala mo kaya, madrama, ganyan. But for them to see a representation of a vibrant young individual, very beautiful human being, living her life to the fullest, with your HIV status. But take us back. Like, how did that feel? How did you know it's the right time? What was running through your mind? Take us back.
I've worked a lot with HIV organizations. We were under Love Yourself sa spaces. So, I had a lot of involvement with HIV organizations. And so, by the time na I was diagnosed, I was equipped with the knowledge na hindi na ako masyado nalugmok, hindi na ako masyado nalungkot, hindi na ako masyado natakot because of all of the privilege of the knowledge that was given to me coming to that point of my diagnosis. But because of that, parang na-guilty ako for the longest time claiming to be an HIV advocate. And I couldn't even speak up about it.
Oh.
I couldn't even talk about my own status.
Oh.
Na parang, in a way, naapi pa rin ako ng stigma. Hindi man siya personally, na parang, hindi man siya parang, okay ako with it, na adjust ko yung buhay ko to my status, na mas nabantayan ko yung health ko. I tried to become more, my lifestyle became more active at that point. Parang inalagaan ko sarili ko. So tanggap ko siya, pero wala pa ako dun sa point na kaya ko siya talagang pangalandakan sa buong mundo. And I felt a lot of guilt and shame for feeling that way.
Oh no.
Na parang, HIV advocate ka, pero hindi mo maamin.
Yeah.
So, isa yun sa mga inisip ko coming into the show, na parang, is this the right time to talk about this? Am I ready to have this information out into the world?
Right.
And originally, sabi ko sarili ko, okay, parang, we like to motivate ourselves with goals, diba?
Right.
Yes, sa mga goals, sabi ko, umabot akong top 4. Umabot akong top 4, doon ko siya ichichika, parang, kaya kailangan mo umabot ng top 4, bakla, doon mo ichika. At that point, 3 episodes na ako nasa bottom. 3 episode na akong scared for my life.
Yes.
Na parang at any moment, this journey could be cut short. And then I found myself, parang nag-comeback ako in the competition. I found myself in the top again. Felt really good in that runway. Ang ganda rin ng critiques ng runway. Sabi ko, ang ganda yung standing ko. Kailan ko pa uling makakuha to in this competition? Hindi tayo sure. Like, hindi ko masisigurado yung bukas eh.
Correct.
Sabi ko, sige, pag-usapan na natin to ngayon. Let's talk about it now. Kasi, the one thing I didn't want to do is to make it a sub-story. Exactly. I did not want to look weak. I did not want to cry, did not want to shed a single tear the moment nasabihin ko siya. Kasi sabi ko, gusto kong makita nila akong maganda. Gusto kong makita nila akong magaling.
Yeah.
Tapos sasabihin ko yun.
I think that really makes all the difference. That makes such a huge impact. Like having, alimbawa yung pa-exit na. Tapos parang, oh, by the way guys, I'm HIV. It's like, hindi. Parang, yeah, hindi. Yun yung goal. But yeah, I think the stars align, your energies align, everything aligned for that very purpose.
And ayun, I've had a lot of more opportunities now to work more consistently with different HIV organizations, different causes. And a lot of the time, lahat ng takot ko after coming out with that and waiting for the episode to air, lahat ng takot ko of like how people will receive me, how the story will be taken by the media, how it would be portrayed. Every time people come up to me with their own stories of how that moment, I'm not even gonna say myself, but that moment helped empower them through their status or helped empower someone close in their life. But it gave me a lot of clarity that was the point of that. That was the purpose. And that was one of the reasons why nakapasok ako ngayon. I was able to share my story because a lot of people really needed to hear that. And I'm not saying that na parang tingin ko Messiah ako, pinadala ko ng Diyos. No, but like, because I've seen so many times in media, especially in the Philippines, in a conservative Catholic country, how HIV and AIDS is used as like a punishment para sa mga bakla. Exactly. Isang trahedya sa mga buhay ng mga bakla. And I'm able to look at that moment so fondly. Feel so good about myself and where I was in the competition and how I looked in that moment. And just be like, at least kaya ko sabihin na even one thing, I did one good thing. And ayun, parang every time nilalapit sa akin, that like telling me how that has helped them, it's just given me a lot of sense of purpose. And I'm happy to have been the messenger.
The message was loud and clear, and it was beautifully received. Kumbaga, like I said, you revealed it at the time where you're at the peak. And it's very symbolical of what a person living with HIV's life could be. The trajectory of you made them see what is possible. Like, like it's a conversation that I couldn't think of a better way to talaga for that. And I think, yeah, you're right. Purpose. What has changed in your life since that revelation? Your relationship with your parents, people around you, how was it?
Aside from those testimonies, not a lot has changed. At least with the people that are close to me, with the people in my life, with my family. I am very fortunate na parang walang nagbago. And that's what makes it feel really good. Na no one's looking at me na kawawa ako. Walang nagbago yung tingin sa akin. At least the people that matter to me, walang nagbago yung tingin sa akin. It just feels really good to finally have that information available to everyone. Na I no longer have to have the talk with people that I date. I no longer have to have the talk with friends that are going through similar situations. Parang it's one less coming out.
Sa bagay. Oo nga, no? Because you really have to like, nagka-jowa ka pa nga. Diba? Even after, nagka-jowa ka pa nga eh. It's high time for us to like really get past that. Tama ka, you imbued yourself with all the information and the knowledge that prepared you for this. But also, you don't get to fight stigma alone eh.
Yeah.
But you talk about it. The voice needs to be a little louder.
Yeah.
And that you did. I mean, marami namang sakit na wala namang ganyang stigma. Si Hannah Beshi nga, may gout, di naman natin judge. Diba? Di naman siya nag-coming out. Parang, guys, I'm living with gout. PLG, people living with gout. Wala namang ganon, diba? Diba? Wala namang ganon. Diba? Ako, ano bang meron sa akin? Ngayon pala, I just, as of today, I'm coming out as a lactose intolerant. Ngayon ko lang po nalaman na I'm a person living with lactose intolerance.
PLLI.
Hanggang ngayon, kumukulo yung tiyan ko talaga.
Salamat, Bebang Salo-Halo.
Salamat sa'yo, Bebang Salo-Halo, sa lactose intolerance na to. No? Yun, it's an affectation in a body. Untransmittable na nga eh. It's undetectable, untransmittable, na parang ingrown.
Mas masakit nga ang ingrown.
Mas masakit kaysa sa HIV. You are the testimony that you can live a full life in spite of that.
And that's really the message I wanted to give. Parang if there's one thing I could do, it's just to give a little bit of hope to people. Kasi, ayun din, like throughout my advocacy work, I've also been able to visit patients living in wards that don't have it that aren't as fortunate as I was.
Yeah.
And it's just like, if I could just help even the smallest bit to just give these people some more, like a little bit of hope to continue to live, to continue to fight. Kasi those that have it bad really do have it bad. Hindi siya madaling pagdaanan. And you know, if my message can help in a little way.
Yeah. I think it's the message is not to like normalize practices that get you the disease, but it's to let people know that there are options.
Yeah.
Options are available, and a full life is available for you in spite of that. I think that's a very healthy way to advocate, kasi parang talagang pinakita mo na meron and may option, pwedeng mabuhay, pwedeng maging masaya in spite of it.
Yes.
Talaga ba, Miriam? But you know, it's like you made, you know, contrary to what you said, you didn't help a little bit. I'm sure a lot of people felt seen, represented, felt validated, and inspired by what you did. And I think that's more than any Maxi Challenge. That's worth any Maxi. Magkano ba Maxi Challenge? 80,000? That's way more than that.
Yeah. I really look back. Episode 2 ako nanalo ng Maxi Challenge. Baka lang nakalimutan ng mga tao. But episode 6, like coming out of filming, episode 6 was the one that I really held closest to my heart. Kasi yun yung parang, ito yung kwento ko eh.
Tama. You won the design challenge. Alam mo, naalala ko to. Kabilin-bilinan ko sa'yo. Wag mong sasabihin na anak ka ni Iba. Wag mong gawing storyline. And
hindi ko naman kasalanang alam na nila yun.
Alam ko naman. Paano hindi nila malalaman? Sinulat mo sa application form.
Kahit naman hindi ko isulat, alam na rin naman nila yun.
Pero parang, hindi naman. When I told Mix about it, sabi ko, wag mo nang gamitin siya. Like, sorry, because I want you, hindi sa nakaiyak kitang anak, but I want you to own it 100%.
Yes.
Kasi although we had that relationship as mother-daughter nung panahon ng Spotlight, and every now and then, like, you still come to me, I firmly believe that everything that you are is you. And I feel it feels wrong for me to take any credit for it. Parang wala naman akong ambag. Parang I want you to own your story, because any Drag Race girly who will join that talaga will know na parang your journey is what your own. There will be people who will help you. There will be people who will try to tell you how to do it, ganyan. But at the end of the day, ikaw pa rin yung pipili ng journey mo, and I want you to like seize it by the balls. But I really appreciate that. I did appreciate naman that you dedicated that trash on to me. You didn't have to, but you did. So I'm like really thankful, but it felt nice.
Well, if you think wala ka kasing ambag, you're very wrong in that aspect. Kasi I always look at my drag journey as I was just like a faggot in my bedroom doing makeup, doing drag for fun, as a outlet, like as an escape from the kaguluhan ng pandemic.
Correct.
And then you really were one of the first people to give me the validation to continue doing it. You gave me the recognition I needed to keep pushing for it. Like, you may not know this, but talagang sa unang house, 6 to 8 pa lang. And especially when you chose me for you to mentor ng Spotlight, I just felt really seen. Like, as someone that's started doing this, not knowing anyone in the industry. You're one of the people that really motivated me to continue. Like, you gave me the validation I needed.
Thank you. Because in my eyes, it's like, I recognize you because you're recognizable. You felt seen because you are worth looking at. Because it's you. Kumaga, I didn't handpick you from the and molded you. Like, alam mo yun, like, you see other queens, like, kung paano, like, for example, si Brigading to Zimba, it's like, talagang tinira pa niya sa bahay. Ano yan? Parang wala akong ganung ambag at least to that. And every choice that you made, I want you to own it. Okay, I may have helped you here and there. You book me, I book you.
Correct.
And we are all booking within.
Correct.
Diba? It felt great.
I just wanted to express that gratitude.
Thank you.
Na, like, I know rin kasi na you're really not the kind of person that would take any credit for it. But I want to give it.
Wow.
In some way, I want to give it. Kasi you have really been one of my lifelines.
Wow. That's huge. Paano ka ano bang mas malalang words of wisdom ang itatapat ko to? Competition pa.
Okay, palit na tayong upuan.
No, but I'm very proud of you.
Thank you.
Yeah, like what I saw is like, parang I saw a kid na nakabandana ng blue before. Tapos, and now like, you really owned your journey in every sense of the way, like your style, your choices, your decisions, your podcast, everything is you. And I'm so proud of the beautiful person and the artist that you've become.
Thank you.
Diba? Dati nag-aano pa siya, ano mo yung ginagawa mo noon? Yung nagsisilab ka ng apoy, tapos nag-aano ka ng...
Nagsisilab ako ng hairspray.
sa
garahe.
Habang merong sumusunod sa'yo na Zoom
camera.
Sa Zoom. Oh my God. Look at where we are now.
Exactly.
Crazy times. And then, on your exit... Man, some things were said.
Yes.
Hi.
Yes.
So take us back. What was running through your mind? And how did those words come out? And then what happened next?
My feelings about my elimination, or at least like the elimination speech, have changed throughout time. And right now, the way I feel about it, the way I look at it is, I see a person at a point of weakness, trying so hard to, clamoring for any sort of recognition, validation. Yun yung nakikita ko sa sarili ko. Na I felt very weak and I was trying so hard to, no pun intended, lift myself up in that moment. And I'm also a person that takes a lot of pride in what I do. I'm very proud of the work that I do, the work that I've done. And I can also recognize na in that moment, yung tao na yun, ang dami niyang yabang. Ang dami niya ding yabang. Feeling niya, hindi niya deserve pa umuwi. Kaya parang desperately trying anything to like control the narrative. And that's why that came out. That's why I said what I said. And that's the one thing na I can say that I really do regret. Kasi I may not have meant it. It may not have been what I intended to do. But it hurt and affected a lot of people. And people have not been short of telling me that in the last few months. And I regret saying that. Kasi, yeah, no matter what I was doing before, I was in no right to use it that way. Kasi it may not have felt like it. Mm-hmm. It may not have been my intention. But I unknowingly weaponized it. And that's how I feel now watching it. It's someone that felt so weak. Someone that felt so invalidated and just desperate.
Yeah. I mean, thank you for being so honest. Because yeah, I mean, that word, I could only imagine if I'm haunted by the word trash, you're probably haunted by the word uplift.
I have heard every version of a joke with the term uplift in it.
Na-roast ka pa nga.
Yeah, and I've tried to take ownership of it. I've tried to crack a joke about it every now and then myself, but it's still triggering sometimes. Na pag sinasabi ng mga tao yun, naalala ko kung gaano, how weak and how small I felt. And how desperate I felt. Every time people say that, even as a joke, even now, parang naging title na siya in a way. So in a, parang medyo, parang compliment na rin siya sometimes by some people. Parang, it still takes me back to that person and how low they felt.
Yeah. It's not talked about enough. When you join a reality TV such as Drag Race, when you get eliminated, more often than not, people just expect you to get on and get over it.
Yeah.
Move on. What you only see is just less than 5 minutes or even seconds nga lang of screen time eh. But what is not being seen on that, imagine that's a 50-minute episode. That 50-minute episode is composed of almost 3 days of so many things happening. A lot of what really happened, a lot of what's going on is really not included in the final edit. What they do not talk about is that how painful and hurtful and just really devastating it is pag sinabihan ka ng sashay away.
Yeah.
It's especially feeling na you still have more to give. Ayaw nyo na. Wait! Hindi pa ako ready.
Ayaw nyo na?
Ako
to. Andito na ako. Kaya ko pa. Ba't ayaw nyo? Parang ganun siya.
It's a breakup that no one prepares you for. You may prepare, you may rehearse it in your head multiple times coming into the competition. But at the moment that it happens, everything comes crashing down. And then suddenly it feels like nothing you've done mattered. Nothing good, no maxi win, no contribution, no anything matters. At that moment, parang, alis ka na. Ka na sa likod, mag-ano ka na. So I get the pain, the humiliation, and that last-ditch effort to have some decency and win back some pride in yourself so that you wouldn't wallow and you will not be consumed by the humiliation and the shame that comes with it. Yes, it might have not been worded. Of course, marami naman talaga, in the terms of uplifting, marami naman talaga yan. But I know now that you're talking about it, it makes perfect sense. Because for me, when I heard it, when I saw it, ang una tumakbo sa isip ko, kahit na ano yan, ibig sabihin ganyan na siya mag-isip. You had that ugly thought in your subconscious and it just let out at that moment. But now that you're talking about it in such a way that, no, it wasn't even about them. It was about me trying to save me. The least bit, magkaroon man lang ako ng konting something to hold on to. Even at the expense of putting other people down just so I could lift myself. It's the visual representation, para ka talagang nalulunod and you're just clinging onto any thought, any idea to save yourself. And yeah, you regret it. It is regrettable naman talaga. But what I want you to know is that you are not defined by those words. You are not defined by a single incident, a single line, a single sentence in that competition. Because what we have discussed previously, there were so many things that you have done. That should not overshadow the great contribution that you have given to the PLHIV community. The things that you have done, kasi there is some truth to it. Talaga namang nagkaroon ka ng viewing party. You started a viewing party. You and Baus started it together. It might not have been everything, but it still counts for something. You should not be defined by it. You would rise above it. Eventually, you will heal from the shame and guilt of that by giving yourself more opportunities to embrace life and live your life to the fullest. Like, fill yourself with experiences. Like, tignan mo naman, after ng Drag Race, sinong model ng Puma? Diba?
Hey, Puma, what's up?
Oy, Puma, ha? I love Puma.
Puma, oh my God.
I love Puma so much.
Puma.
Like, Puma talaga. Pati yung bedsheet ko, Puma. I love Puma so much.
Ba't ka ba may bedsheet na Puma?
Oo. Alam mo yung bulb namin? Puma yan eh. Sobra. Ito, IKEA to. But I love Puma. You see, it's like, it will haunt you.
Yes.
It still does. It
Yes.
probably does. But, you know, at that moment, you also need to give yourself grace na parang, the world will be so hard on you.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be that same person to yourself.
I try.
You try. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm sure you do.
Do
you undergo therapy?
Yeah, I do. And I'm a recovering people pleaser. I like being liked. And
who doesn't naman?
Yes. And I guess that's why parang nung una I tried to like over-explain and give context to it. But now I can just be like, no, yeah, I regret it. The one thing that's been difficult for me to like tackle after the journey is not echoing what people say. Because I like being liked, it hurts me so much to be disliked. The shit people say to me, as much as I try to like not let it get to me. Minsan narinig ko siya. And minsan, the worst is, minsan narinig ko siya sa sarili kong boses. And that's something I try not to do. That's something I'm really, really, really working on not doing.
It's tough. I can only imagine. Imagine parang Drag Race could have been like so pivotal in your life. It's probably, kumbaga sa comparison ng mga straight people, no, itong milestone ng Drag Race is comparative to marriage or wedding. It's the
para ka nag-PBB.
Oh, it's the sa mata ating mga bakla, ito talaga ang highlight ng buhay natin. And yet it is masked or it's eclipsed by that something as regrettable, parang something that you wish you didn't do.
Yeah. Siguro it stings a lot kasi parang that's something people remember a lot. A lot more than the package I prepared. A lot more than what I did good. And ayun, parang I really put like my heart and soul into preparing for my favorite show in the world.
Yeah.
To the point na parang sometimes it's hard for me to even watch Drag Race now. Kasi ang dami kong naalalang masakit, disappointing. But I really put my heart and soul into preparing for that package. Not even 10 episodes is break even for me. As in talagang parang lahat ng savings ko mula nung nagtatrabaho pa ako ng corporate, sa lahat ng inipon ko nung nagdadraga ako, binuhos ko siya lahat na tipong after filming, nakapag-Singapore ako saglit kasi nagtabi naman ako pera for that kasi Eras Tour yung Taylor Swift. But after that, wala. As in, walang-wala. Binuhos ko talaga lahat. And it's rough to be taken back to all of those feelings. And the way I felt, after filming, the way I felt after the elimination, it's hard to always be triggered back into those feelings or reminded of those feelings every time people bring it up.
Pero I think there's no amount of like words of wisdom can help you out with this one. Because eventually, this is a fight.
Yeah.
Against. It's not even what people think anymore. Because people will have opinions, good or bad. With me, with Marina, with Precious, kay Sasha Colby, people will always have opinions. Kahit nasa anong level ka pa. I think if there's one thing that I wish for you, is I wish for you to forgive yourself for what happened. Because it's not the people pleasing. It's not the people around you that's crucifying you for what happened. It's you that's being parang hindi mo mapatawad yung sarili mo because you wish it didn't happen. But here's the catch. It happened.
Yeah, it did.
No, you can't turn back time. There's nothing you can change. You will not be able to forgive yourself now, but you will live through this lifetime, make memories, make more highlights in your life that would make you let you believe again that you are worth it, that you're not defined by that statement. You can give back to the community, you can give back with others, but in the process, I hope you learn to forgive yourself.
I'm working on it.
Okay.
That's something na parang something I want to afford myself. And I'm also trying to learn to not attach my worth to what I do, but to myself. But
Right.
I also really, I just really love what I do.
Yeah. Alam mo, it's like, how young are you again?
28.
28. Ito na naman tayo sa mga labasan na naman ng edad. But you still have a full life ahead of you. Like, this shall pass.
Yeah.
You will make beautiful things, create more. You might even join join Drag Race again.
And given all things, it's still a net positive. Like I call it a net positive na parang it's still given me so much after. Parang the show has still given me so much things to be grateful for, to be thankful for. Ngayon, parang, so I moved out of my family's house. I'm starting to nag-i-invest ako sa mga gamit sa bahay para sarili ko. May mga times na parang upo lang ako doon, tingnan ko yung mga ginagawa ko, tingnan ko yung mga nabigay ko sa sarili ko. Parang,
Correct.
like it feels good.
Tama.
To be able to give that to myself.
Right. And it wouldn't have been possible if not because of that.
Exactly. If it wasn't for Drag Race, I'm still very grateful for the experience. I always still look fondly on the experience. May mga bagay na things I regret, strategies, in air quotes, that I would have changed. Masyado kong na-focus sa competition aspect na nawala ako dun sa like reality TV of it all at times. But I wouldn't change it for the world. Like, I had a really, really good experience nonetheless, and still a really good experience with the show, with the fans.
Right.
And I'm just counting my blessings.
Tama. And I hope you say that not in a way na it's a consolation for what happened. No. Kasi in retrospect, there's nothing else that you could have done differently that would have changed it.
Yeah.
Kasi yun nga nasabi mo yung mga yun at the time na parang nalulunod na yung mix Chanel sa hiya. And like that was a last-ditch effort to save whatever piece of like self-respect that you have. And I hope you learn to forgive yourself at that moment of weakness. Because that moment of weakness is not all that there is to you. You are a courageous, beautiful artist in a very short span of time during the pandemic to where you are, to the things that you've done. There is really, I hope you get to see the word uplift in a way na totoo. May kunot yung uplift, pero there is some truth to it. Hindi naman siya entirely wrong. Diba? You will come along. Greater things are gonna come your way. Because you don't stop, It's like, as long as you don't stop, you don't give up, better things will come your way. And parang, in this lifetime, whatever you are right now, this is the lowest that you will be. Isn't that amazing? This one, like the Puma, the house that you have, this is the lowest that you will ever be. From this point on, everything is just gonna get higher.
Yeah.
And soon, you will fill yourself with more opportunities and experiences na talagang panghahawakan mo. And let me tell you something. You're a people pleaser, diba? You're trying not to be.
I'm recovering.
Recovering. Pero with the workings of a mind of a people pleaser, I hope you know that your name has been mentioned in rooms that you've never been to. There are people in this world who talk so fondly and tell good things about you that you don't even know. You have been praised, loved by people you've never met. You're a people pleaser, yes, because there are people that are pleased by you. Not everyone hates you. Not everyone remembers those words.
And that's why I try my best to give gratitude to those people. Be grateful for those people. Kasi in the times na I get lost in the noise, I try to listen to their voices and echo what they say with my own, not with the negativity. I try to focus on them kasi sila yung nagpapaalala sa akin, ano ba yung halaga ko? Ano ba yung mga naambag ko sa mundo? I've been so lucky to have so many people I consider to have been lifelines at different points in my life. And I'm just so thankful kasi sila yung nagpapakapit sa akin throughout everything.
Diba? Kumbaga, in a net positive scheme of things, parang wala namang negative. Parang, this is such an amazing life. Like, you are a beautiful human being.
Thank
you are
you.
not reduced by that statement. And you're not even reduced by your HIV status. So what else is there? Ang gusto mo? Gout? Ano? Nabalik na naman sa gout ni Han.
Ayun!
Nabalik na naman sa gout ni Han. Yung may gout nga. Nakakapag-love team pa eh. You'll be fine. I don't know what else to say. It was like, I think, but yeah, I mean, I know. I feel na parang you cry this much because you can talk to your therapist, pero your therapist will probably never understand kasi hindi naman siya sumali ng drag race.
Correct.
You know, when I consulted with my therapist before, sabi ko, ito yung mga pinadadaanan ko, ganyan. Parang, hindi ba ito normal? And you know what the thing is? Hindi talaga normal. Yung experience natin as Ru Girls, hindi ito pinagdadaanan ng Grab driver na tumakas sa labas. Alam mo yon, our condition, our psyche, how we navigate the fame, how we navigate the entire experience, the worth, us anchoring our self-worth into the output of our drag, hindi siya nangyayari sa lahat ng tao.
Yeah.
I could only imagine that this is a conversation that you probably have not had with anyone else. But I'm telling you, when I look back at my Global All-Stars journey, when it aired, parang ang ano sa akin noon. Kasi parang, hala, paano ko sasabihin sa buong Pilipinas na third out ako? Tapos gusto nila ako maging excited. Hindi ko nga gusto yung pagkaka-exit ko eh. Tapos gusto niyo akong i-build up yung sarili ko. Sige, punta akong TV5. punta akong ganito, punta ako ng ganyan. And then it cost me like so much anxiety. What you also need to know is that, Mix, the worst is over. The worst is over. Tapos na. The last piece of the puzzle is you forgiving yourself. Wala nang magbabago. You've apologized to everyone else.
Yeah.
I'm sure you did. You've already apologized to Maxi, all these people. And there's nothing else to do. Ikaw na lang yan. But until you're ready, we're gonna be here for you. You are surrounded by people who love you. You are surrounded by fans. And again, people who believe in you. And, you know, it's not as bad as it may seem. But, you'll be fine.
We're working on it always naman. I'm trying to... Naalala ko lang bigla yung the Japanese term, yung ikigai. What you want to do, what the world needs from you, and where you can find purpose. I'm trying to find that path for me now.
Oh. You know what? Recently, nabasa ko yung Ikigai because it was, of course, there was the book of Ikigai. Yung 4 things, yung diagram na yun. And then it was debunked by by a Japanese Japanese national. Parang ine-explain niya na parang no, it's that one is like the westernized version of what Ikigai is. Kasi to the Japanese people, the concept of Ikigai isn't exactly something that you chase. Ikigai is something, sabi doon, Ikigai is like grandparents taking care of their grandchildren. Ikigai is like waking up in the morning, watering the plants.
Para sa akin, ano yan? Nag-grocery tsaka nagluluto.
Right? Ikigai isn't something that you chase. Ikigai is something that already exists and you embrace it fully. That is Ikigai. It isn't exactly a pursuit of something like a purpose that needs to be found. It's life in itself and embracing what's in front of you. You'll be surprised to know na yung uplifting statement mo is a part of your Ikigai. it's already there. It's you embracing the kind of person that you've become because of that statement. It's the ikigai is also finding purpose and why it happened and how it will help you to carry on with your life and, make things more beautiful for you. So you will reconcile with that statement in a way that is unique to you and in a way that feels right. Because ikaw lang naman na nakaranas sa ganyan eh. Ikaw lang din ang may sagot dyan. And I'm sure you'll find your ikigai. Your ikigai could even be your boyfriend.
Shout out sa'yo.
Shout out sa pang Viva Max mong jowa. Kamusta? Kamusta ang puso mo?
Ang puso ko, oh my God, maluwa. Charot. Kinila.
Hindi
hindi masikip pa rin naman daw.
Paano kayo nagkakilala nitong
No,
jowa
actually,
mo?
I'm so thankful. Going through the emotions of not making it as far as you wanted to go, I also went through a breakup.
May jowa ka ba nung Drag Race?
Nung pumasok ako, yes.
Oh.
And then afterwards...
Parang alam niyo yung lahat, ako lang yung hindi. Patapos?
Hindi kasi ako ma-share. He broke up with me. And parang the person na, like feeling low at that time, feeling disappointed, and the person that I was trying to lean on left.
Oh no.
Yeah. So this was someone I met na parang I was feeling really great about myself. I have like sobrang happy ko sa work ko. Tapos, and then he saw me go through the opportunity. He saw me go through the audition process. He saw how happy it made me, how driven preparing for the show made me. Kumbaga parang he saw me at a really good time in my life. He saw me at my best.
Correct.
And then the moment na nung bumalik ako sa kanya and I was feeling low, dun siya umalis. And I had to go through healing a heartbreak. 2 of them. Like,
double penetrate ka ng heart.
Na-Eiffel Tower ako na heartbreak. Ayun, I got eliminated from the show. Tapos hiniwalayan ako. Right. And then, I was going through that. Tapos, eto, pangalanan natin siya, dito naman na siya. Si Miggy, I met him days after episode 1. And
Miggy ba yung name? Kilala ko kasi siya as Considerate Top. Yun kasi yung Twitter name niya. Si Considerate Top.
Non-brand na daw niya yung sarili niya doon.
Inconsiderate na siya ngayon.
Depende. I met him. I met him shortly after episode 1.
Okay.
Kasi na ako at that point, parang mentally sabi ko, girl na ako ngayon, cash in tayo. Gamitin natin yung clout sa mga clout chaser. He met me shortly after episode 1, and then he was there nung viewing party ng episode 2. I didn't tell him a lot about like what would happen. Kasi parang sabi ko, manood ka na lang. Kasi I didn't want to take that experience away from him. Pero nakita niya ako, nanalo ako ng episode 2. And then episode 3 happened, where parang people went from bashing Versex to loving her and then bashing me kasi na-eliminate ko siya. And then, that whole arc of being in the bottom. And this person saw me go through the worst of all of that.
Okay.
And nandiyan pa din siya. And yun nga, going from the experience last year of meeting someone at my best, being left at my lowest, to going to getting to know someone while I was at my lowest, and them still being there for me, choosing to still be there for me. Parang nababash na nga ako sa Twitter, tapos pinapost pa rin niya akong pag umiiyak ako, andyan pa din siya. After ng viewing parties, hatid niya ako sa bahay, samahan niya ako kasi alam niyang iyak ako sa bahay mag-isa. And just from last year to how I am now with him, just sobrang grateful ko lang. Tsaka masarap din kasi yung sex, so grateful din ako doon.
I can only imagine parang umiyak. Huwag ka na umiyak, usubong mo to.
Hindi. Hindi, ayun talaga.
Parang wala sa kung pag-usapan eh. No? Parang wala dito.
Ayun, parang he saw me go through the peak of the emotions of the show being aired to the public.
Right.
Nakita niya ako na parang nag-show ako. Show ako sarap ng tao. May pag-meet and greet ako. Saya-saya ko. Uwi ako. Iyak ako. Nakita niya lahat yun. And he still stayed. And that means a lot. Kasi nga parang the last person made me feel like my best wasn't even good enough if I have my lowest. And to now, the person choosing to stay despite meeting me at really low points, seeing me through really bad days.
Yeah.
So, ayun.
Well, we probably never know what that ex just go anong iniisip niya at that time. Kumbaga, this is your truth. I mean, this is your I mean, kung napapanood man niya to, you don't exactly
question mark.
We don't exactly know what's going through his mind, pero at that point, you needed someone. He's just not there. End of story. Okay, we wouldn't judge about anything, but alam mo, ito yung, kasi parang ganito rin si Kevin tsaka si Kiana, na parang, nasukat talaga yung relationship nila at the time na walang-wala sila pareho, or at least at the lowest points in their lives. And parang, I'm so happy that you get to find your Maggie to, be there for you. Kasi ako, umiyak ako sa Global All-Stars, mag-isa ako.
Umiyak sa Global All-Stars, nagtawag kang masahista.
Wala akong sinusubo. Nagpamassage na lang ako. Iniwan na pa ako nung naiwan din, may nang iwan din pala sa akin after ko mag-eliminate. But I'm happy they're gone. I mean, some people just, tama ka dyan eh. Like, there are people who just do not deserve a seat at the table anymore. And I say this not with a hateful heart. It's because there will be shifts in the kind of person that you are. And then there will be people that will just probably not be able to meet you there. It's nothing personal. It will hurt at the moment that wala na sila. But in the grander scheme of things, I think it's just the way it's supposed to be. Some people just do not need to be a part of the next chapter.
Sabi nga ni Popoy sa One More Chance.
Talaga, sinabi niya yun?
Hindi. You loved me at my best. She had me at my worst. But you chose to break my heart.
At least I'm happy knowing that you have Miggy. And I think na parang, I love how you guys are so transparent and Twitter, like nakailang rounds na kayo. I just love you kids. I live vicariously through your lives. And parang, yes, I love that for y'all. So, the question is, kapag tinawagan ka sa All-Star season, hello, Miss Uplifting. Masasabi lang.
Tapos pagkapasok ko na entrance room, are you ready to be uplifted, world?
World? Uplifted ka na ba? Pero, alam mo yun, it's like, the question is, if you receive the call, are you gonna say yes?
Oo. Because I would love to go back to Drag Race. And I would love to experience it knowing what I know from the first time. And just siguro more wholeheartedly, like, fully enjoy this experience now. Not pressure myself as much. But I also hope that it comes at the right time. I hope it comes to a time na everything aligns and I'm able to show parang the latest evolution of Mix Chanel. Hindi yung ayoko pumasok kasi ng basta lang para lang sa airtime, para lang
hindi mo ulit yung sarili mo, ganyan.
I want to be able to show a new version of the artist or like a new version of the art that I feel confident in. And ayun, just enjoy it more kasi parang being on my favorite show the first time was great.
Right.
The opportunity to come back for a second time, I want to just gusto ko enjoy yun na parang nasa Disney lang ako ganun.
And I'm telling you, that second shot is an entirely different gameplay altogether. So knowing what you already know now, this is something that I always ask my guests. Knowing that what you already know now, what advice would you have given your younger self?
It's always been the same. Be kinder to yourself. Lagi. And that's always what I strive to do, is to always be a kinder version to myself all the time. Because the world's already hard enough. And the world has already thrown me enough curveballs for a lifetime. And hindi ko na kailangan pahirapan pa yung sarili ko.
Correct.
Things can already be hard enough without that. So I just want to tell myself to choose to be kinder to yourself. Don't echo the pressure. Don't echo the negativity. Listen to the kindness of people around you that you are so fortunate to have. Just be kinder to yourself. Parang maging bait ka lang sa sarili mo. Hindi mo kailangan laging parusahan sarili mo. Hindi mo kailangan laging i-torture sarili mo. Hindi mo kailangan laging laitin sarili mo. Though it's fun in like an aspect of comedy, self-deprecating humor is it always tickles me the right way, but hindi na para paniwalaan mo siya.
Tama. Yeah. So all you people-pleasing people there, if you're looking for a sign to be kinder to yourself, this is it.
Mga overthinkers dyan, mga calculating din dyan.
But you know what? We are very excited for you because I know you're going to make more beautiful things. You're going to make more impact. And it's going to be huge. And you probably might not even know it, but you've already changed so many people's lives. Okay? And stay beautiful inside out. And yeah, narinig mo na yan, ha? Be kinder with yourself. Okay. Hi! So yeah, that's another episode here at Evangelism.
I have been evangelized.
Yes. And again, guys, this has been an episode of Evangelism. So if you like this episode, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And guys, mag-subscribe naman kayo. Huwag kayo nood lang ng nood. Okay?
To, libre na nga, hindi ka pa mag-subscribe. Libre na nga, hindi ka pa mag-like. Libre na nga, hindi ka pa mag-comment. Wow, hirap mo ka-bonding.
We'll see you in the next video. Bye, guys! Bye! Lovely. That was great. That was